I'm in the 7th grade. I'm playing in the lower field with the only kid in the Shire that's not my sister. There's a lovely green, lush fields. There's this amazing rambling brook. It opens up into a pool. There's some waterfalls. And frog eggs. And frog eggs, if you haven't held them, fill up your hand, baseball size-ish. Kind of feels like a jellyfish or some egg whites with little black dots in them. And of course, we're throwing them at each other. And it goes on all afternoon until we're actually dripping in snot. And later that night, I'm sleeping, and I wake up in the morning remembering this weird sensation all night of waking up like I'm squishing things, and there's like this jellyfish in my hands and probably thousands of unrealized frogs. The next day, I'm on the edge of the bank and come up with this thing. I'm going to build a little ship, this boat raft thing. It's a piece of bark, a stick with a little leaf on the top for a flag. And I send that down the river a couple times. It's pretty cool, but it's missing something, which is like a passenger. And so I'm looking at the frogs, and I try to get one and put it on, and of course that doesn't work out. And I come up with this idea of throwing rocks at a frog to stun the frog so I can take it while it's compliant and put it on my little raft and watch it go down the stream. And they would come to and jump off the raft. And so I did this a few times. And then one of the times I do it and I realized the rock was too big. Yeah. And for the first time, I actually feel shitty. Country boys, this doesn't feel so good anymore. I realize it definitely is dead. And I feel bad for the first time. And the guilt hits me, and I'm like, I'm going to make a good situation out of this or not waste this life. It just so happened earlier that day we had dissected frogs in science class. And a month before, for my birthday, I got a Swiss Army knife. And they taught us about, slice up the legs, slice down the arms, and then the belly, and you pull back the skin, and you see the anatomy of a frog. So I'm on the bank of the Shire with the brook and the grass and my little Swiss Army knife scissors, and I'm making the cuts, and I go down, and I pull back the skin, and it's hard to understand what I'm seeing, but I realize it's a beating heart. And as I'm trying to figure out what's going on, this frog starts to come back to consciousness and starting to wiggle. Word. And the sense of dread and horror to what I had done, and that this frog was about to start jumping away with its guts left behind, hit me, and I realized I had to kill this frog again for the first time. And I did that. I had nightmares for years. I still, to this day, flash on the scene of the crime. And that was the last time this country boy did harm to nature.